The Bubble Gun, a Terraria weapon known for its high DPS in the mage class and funny bubbles. But I had just one question for this weapon. How good was it really? To test this, I have decided to play through the entirety of the game using the Bubble Gun as my only weapon. Can I really beat the entire game using this funny little gun? Stay tuned to find out. Hello everyone, my name is Ishi. Please grab a snack and relax for yet another Terraria experience. Enjoy. And so we begin on yet another vexatious Terraria world that usually brings me much frustration, mental pain, and possible family issues after it's over. But on this particular playthrough, I have a feeling that we will experience a sense of exhilaration, or may I even say, jubilation? Why, you may ask? Well, you see, these funny little bubbles do a base damage of 70. That's a lot of juice in a little bubble. So I have a feeling that this pre-hard mode fun time is going to be really easy. After building my substandard housing, I explored to the right of my world and found that this weapon is pretty useless early on, since I barely have any mana to pump into it. Then I died in a ridiculous fall that I could have easily prevented, but apparently chose not to stop. When I returned home, I thought it'd be a smart idea to make a platform to catch falling stars on, but apparently I forgot what had literally just happened and fell off the platform, ending in my dull-witted death. This was a common reoccurrence while building the platform. I'm not too sure why I kept falling either. I thought after my countless hours recording Terraria for you goblins, I'd be better at the game, but I guess not. And you know what? That's okay too, because we should all love ourselves just the way we are. Anyways, by morning I had collected enough stars to give myself a whopping 3. Yeah, that's right, 3 mana stars. And with this newfound power of mine, I decided to just go right over to the big boy table and slap the Eater of Worlds in the face. It stood no chance for my super cool bubble gun my mom got me from Target, and I used its broken body to make myself a pickaxe and some armor. Now, I'm not going to be the one to delineate a pixel game, but how is it that I'm wearing the skin and bones of a big worm monster, yet I still look so striking? Then I got a convenient little message from the voice inside my ear whispering things to me, and supposedly a meteorite had spawned. Now that's just perfect, but at the moment I chose to entirely ignore that message, since I guess launching myself into the dark abyss of the underground was a higher priority on my list. As always, the underground was just tons of super cool fun. I was asking all those silly little questions, such as when will it end? Why do I play video games on the internet? And when will I finally get paid by Lord YouTube to feed my loved ones? And all those fun little silly crisis questions. Oh look, did I really make it to hell already? Cool. I'll just make a stupid little bridge to eventually fight that stupid wall and unlock stupid hard mode so I can fight the stupid, ignorant, metal floating nightmares and... I'm okay now. I'm okay. Anyways, my skin being rapidly burned off my body due to the dip I took in lava caused me to surprisingly die, and I ended up back home. I then decided that we were done in hell, and I walked my way to kill Skeletron. Once again, I absolutely destroyed him, just as I did the Eater of Worlds, and went to collect my prizes that lay deep within the dungeon. Whenever I was done with that, I went around looking for the meteorite that landed forever ago at this point, and yes, I'm gonna say it, I hate the meteor heads that spawn around this thing. All it does is make the process way longer than it already is, and it isn't very nice. Not cool. After that grueling process, I used all of that pent-up anger to bubble the wall of flesh so hard it stood no chance but to run back to its mom because I got bubbles in its eyes. Boom. Get bubbled. As always, the wall of flesh gives me the exact loot I'm looking for. As we can see here, I got a firecracker and Warrior's emblem. Very cool. Thank you, Wall of Flesh. Now, for anyone who watches my videos, you'll already know this, but I'm gonna say it again anyways. Early hard mode is the best and worst part of Terraria. We get a huge boost of items to use, but we have to go on that irksome mining grind. That part is never fun. Anyways, after going on that super cool epic mining session, I built more NPC houses to get my mind off that stupid mech bosses we're about to fight, and to store more of our somewhat paid employees. To prepare for the mechs, I hunted the near extinct wyverns and killed pixies to obtain the manliest pair of wings in Terraria, the fairy wings. Then I went down to the super cool underground and ripped the souls out of unsuspecting victims so I could fuse them together with my bare hands to summon apocalyptic mechanical monsters just to end up killing them for their metal and feared souls too. As they say, if you want to spread a message, dress it. So I slapped on some epic accessories to fit the drip, since I was about to absolutely cook the first mechanical boss on the list, the Destroyer. Not many words are needed for the Destroyer, since we both know that somehow Terraria just cannot make this boss hard to kill. For the other two bosses, I decided to do this super smart strategy no one's ever heard of before. I made 2 really long rail tracks to fight the mechs on, just so that way I could outrun maybe hopefully 70% of their attacks. If we're lucky. Skeletron Prime was first of all victim. I'm not gonna lie, I don't think that the tracks were the brightest idea for this boss, and it would have probably just been easier to use the arena, but I wanted to be fancy, okay? Then came the twins, everyone's favorite mechanical boss. I'm joking. I hate them with a passion. The bubbles had a hard time hitting the stupid eyeballs when they lunged themselves in front of me, but seeing that I had a bubble gun of mass destruction, I still managed to fight them somewhat well. And that's that. The mechanical bosses are finally out of the way. That wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. The trinity of early hard mode is defeated, and now we have ourselves the pickaxe axe. And the real question is, how much more of a pickaxe axe is the pickaxe axe, and how much more of it is an axe? Neither. It's just a pickaxe axe. Anywho, now it's time for you to watch me throw myself into the hard mode jungle to fight a big bulbous plant. Who is this plant, you may ask? Well, none other than our very own Plantera, of course. Since I've made an absolute boundless number of arenas, we did a little explotando mucho, and BAM! We had a cool arena for our plant friend. The bubble gun had a staggering performance on Plantera, and she returned to the earth quickly after she emerged. And now we are in what I would consider pre-endgame. It was time to break into the homes of thousands of angry lizard men, and women / others, and charge right through them. And now, faced before us is what I assumed to be an Incan god. I did my research, and as per usual, the golem tried, but actually managed to do a pretty good job at hitting me this time. But he too succumbed to the bubbles as well. I guess we were just bubbling everyone so hard they have no choice but to accept it. I decided that I wanted more victims to fall upon the bubble gun, and when it was the Moon Lord's turn, I wanted that legless man to end up getting bubbled so hard he like dies or something. I don't know. I thought I could lead that to something cool, but I just didn't work out. I bubbled through the solar eclipse and decided why not make the nearby aliens suffer too. So I summoned a Martin event and fried their spaceships with my bubbles. Get it? I'm wearing a chef's outfit and I have a bubble gun. Okay, you're right, that wasn't funny. Anyways, there is only one final way I can make my bubbles so strong, Chris Bumstead would even tremble. And that would be to rip the ectoplasm out of the undead behemoths in the dungeon. I've never farmed for ectoplasm all too much, and I've come up to the understanding now, and have sympathy for mage class players. This was very annoying, but I did end up getting way too many paladin shields from this run. I swear this item was supposed to be rare or something, but I'm having second thoughts. But in the end, it was all worth it. I felt like a true wizard of bubbling power. And with that in mind, we are off to kill another wizard, known as the Lunatic Cultist. Is he a wizard or a cultist? I don't know. I think he's both, but let me know if I'm wrong. One quirk about the bubble gun that makes this fight annoying is that it is extremely inaccurate, and this caused me to accidentally hit one of the fake cultists during the fight, which made it so much more difficult. But other than that, it was a breeze. And right away, a pillar was thrown in our faces. The Stardust Pillar, to be exact. But in this video, I'm going to call them the Pillars of Life. Starting out with the Stardust Pillar, this is the time in your life you spent staring out the window, wondering where the grass is green, and trying to capture frogs for a zoo you want to surprise your mother with in your room. But for some reason, she is mad at you, and you aren't allowed outside for the rest of the summer. That's just a theoretical scenario though. Next up is the Vortex Pillar. This pillar is like your time in school. It's all a blur and you never really remember too much about your day whenever you get home. Except when that one kid did something absolutely horrid during lunch just for a little bit of clout from the other kids in the room. That kid was crazy. Then there's the Solar Pillar. And I gotta say, this part of your life is a complete dumpster fire. It's your time after school, and you're constantly getting hit with people saying, do your taxes, and go to college and eat $1 ramen noodles for the next 4 years. And you are usually getting in and out of relationships trying to find the one, and will continue to deny the fact that the relationship is toxic, and she isn't really all that special compared to the next blonde girl obsessed with astrology signs that also gives those excuses of, he's just a friend. No one's buying it. Then finally, the Nebula Pillar. Finally, you're at peace. Life at this point is a routine. You found peace within yourself. You have a family and everything seems to be going well. Sure, sometimes you'll end up hurting yourself because you think you're in your 20s, but other than that, you're okay. Oh no, word has it that you just got done mowing the lawn, and the wife forgot to tell you that she just finished planting new flowers on that said lawn. She opens the door to come inside. She looks furious. You ran over her flowers, now she is going to cause your ears to never hear again from all the nagging she'll give you. In other words, we're about to fight the Moon Lord. And I'm also done with that story. I hope you enjoyed it while it lasted. Anyways, will we defeat the Moon Lord in just one go? Just as we have every other boss? Or will we finally... Yeah, we died. Turns out we just couldn't bring ourselves to bubble him hard enough. But that's okay, I'll just try again. And this time I absolutely destroyed the Moon Lord. I got all of the bubbles and all like 6 or 7 of his eyes or whatever. And with that, we have successfully defeated Terraria using only the bubble gun. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and leaving a like, since sometimes these videos can take a while to make, and it's always appreciated. Let me know about any other wacky fun challenges you may have for me to try out, and until the next one, goodbye.